Alright, welcome to Just Morpheus Gaming. I never ended up uploading the end of the Helldivers videos just because I was, I guess, fighting an imposter syndrome. Not sure why somebody would be wanting to watch me run through Helldivers. I mean, I didn't do bad, but there isn't, I guess, a lot that I was bringing to the field. I don't know. With that being said, having to split the episodes didn't really leave a good introduction between them if I wanted to post them. There was a few things that led me to not posting them. But with that being said, I was looking at maybe doing not even a pivot, Dwarf Fortress. There's a lot of games I'm interested in. I have almost 700 hours in Dwarf Fortress, and I am a little abashed to admit I haven't kicked it over for basically over a year. September 26th of 24. I actually kind of like the fact that Steam tracks that. But yeah, I was entertaining kicking over some Dwarf Fortress. At a certain point, this is going to be a Let's Play, and not a very popular format, or I'd like to give a shout out to Icon Gaming. One of the things I ran into some of his Dwarf Fortress videos 4 or 5 years ago, and it did kind of point me into the direction of, oh, there are things about the game I didn't know, that's for sure. And with that being said, he and I play the game a lot differently, so I feel a little bit better about doing a Let's Play, because there are different ways to play the same game, and it's interesting just to see how other people play. Icon Gaming does do some tutorials on like how to play Dwarf Fortress. I haven't played Dwarf Fortress since the Siege update, and yeah, at a certain point, I'm happy to give it a whirl. I was just going to go ahead and create a new world. Medium, 100 years. If there's a couple ways you can tweak it. If you go longer, you can go with less civilizations because there's less overall growth. Depends also how you want to play. Frequent is kind of maybe too much. Depends on where you want the difficulty level to be. I think I'll do all right at sparse. Natural savagery. That's like how what wants to attack you, etc. Number of beasts. I'm just gonna call it good. Create a world. So they normally pop up a map and start building the context out. There we go. So there's a couple different ways to try to build the world. It looks like it succeeded on its first try. So yeah, civilizations are growing, they're building it out. I am almost 100 years into it. So there wasn't actually a lot of stuff going on in the background here. At a certain point, I'm going to just say play now. And it'll allow me to now look at the map and see what the mineral densities are and what my options are, etc. Fortress. I'm gonna say skip tutorial. I'm not sure. You're on your own. So there is a way I can actually reclaim. There's 2 places that are reclaimable. What I was looking for is the find embark location. certain point, I wouldn't mind a light aquifer. And if I can get away with something like platinum and or gold. Depends really what I'm looking to go for. Because, yeah, this game is complex on a lot of levels. So at this point, it's just going to try and find me any place that has both platinum and gold and a light aquifer. And it looks like there is some up over here. It looks like there's a settlement up over here, though. So yeah, there are some places here. Temperate forest, heavily forested. I mean, that looks beautiful in a lot of ways. As gold and zinc, it's only a partial match. Warm, heavily forested, untamed wilds. This is really nice in a way. Iron, silver, copper, zinc, lead, pluckstone. I don't think I can come in this close to... What is the civilization down here? A mysterious layer. I might be asking for trouble by coming down into here. Hot, heavily forested. I'd rather be warm with heavily forested, thick, untamed wilds. I like that. Gold, silver, platinum. So the biome in a way is split. The back half has very deep soil, iron, silver, lead, flux-stone, where I get my platinum and gold and silver and copper from the front half. So, and the whole thing, I have some clay there, it looked like. Warm saltwater swamp. Don't necessarily have a lot of forest, but I like it. So if I do an embarkation, confirm. All right. I have a profile. The only thing that really this does is make sure my animals are paired. So I have no pecan wood buckets available. It does assume that I just need to basically throw another wood bucket in and make sure my balance is fine. The wood bucket is going to be dependent on the wood available out here. And that's where it's like, oh yeah, that's not your items, available items. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done this. And where's my points? I still have 10 points. Is there 2 buckets? That only said 1. Makes me wonder where I'm 10 shy. The one thing I was saying about I have a male and female rabbit, I have a male and female cat, I have a male and female cow. I built it out so that there is breeding pairs and that I can actually get a, I guess, meat industry going fairly quickly, or it is, yeah, not, the game has so much depth that's incredible. I have a couple peasants. I was trying to figure out what would be good to cover here. Yeah, I haven't actually used this layout for over a year. Items, I need to pick up another something. 10 points. I'm just gonna go with seeds, I guess. Temple cup. Plump helmet. I already have some plump helmets. Thread, pigtail. The rope is 20 though. Leather, quiver. And here is where I should be moving on. Five left. Pigtail cloth. Grab one more piece of leather. All right. You have arrived. Can take a moment to pause it and just see what is around. The terrain is pretty high. I mean, I have a nice little mountain here I can burrow into, which is nice. It is loamy, and I need to get down to actually like stone. Loam is the most worthless because like it's not sand, and it's not like clay either. So there was sand, I thought, over here. So that is quite promising, and there's ocean right here, which, depending on how you want to look at that, is promising or not, because half my resources are going to be under that thing. The one thing about when you need to find a place to break down and move in. If I burrow in here, it'll go quick because it is loam. And it is a fairly uniform chunk I can... Almost got a little turned around here. Where are all my people? One more up? They're down. Alright. Certain point. There we go. If I dig down, just pick a random point and go down. What I'm really looking forward to is just being able to... Why did that not... Oh. Stairs, not dig. So at a certain point, I'm just going to keep going until hopefully I get some stone. I can make an area up above out of the loam. Nice. I have platinum right there. Fire, clay, loam. Alright, so the one thing about being able to build at a certain point, I'll tear this out later and rebuild it, but I just need a place that's going to be able to, house storage. I don't even know what I'm doing here at a certain point, sorry. If I just want one main storage here, I can dump everything in my cart down. What I was initially trying to do was something where if you can bottleneck it and separate them, it's fairly good. I was wondering about separating into like 2 separate rooms there, because I do need to get some... I like a place to keep my animals, or protection from the elements. Need a place to even put beds temporarily, but I need to get wood going for that. So, at a certain point I will start to lay down some of those foundations. I am going to do a workshop for Wood. Carpenter. Need one more. Ah. And that would be on both sides. And there's a way you can do a priority on... Come on. Mining. It's the over. By default, it's 4. Just bump these to 2. And swap back to 4. One thing that I also just realized is I probably should have done some basic administration. And then I might actually take a break and call it from there. So, yeah, there is some complexity to this game. I just realized I only have one miner. Why do I only have one person digging? And I should have more than one person digging, which means my labor isn't set right. Nothing in here is necessarily set right off the bat. Creatures, citizens, pet, livestock, dead, missing. Under tasks, places, labor. So here is where I can say miners. I can have other people start doing mining. I do have a pick out. I have one woodcutter. I want a hunter. It wouldn't be a bad idea. One of these people is probably going to be an archer. Planter's already set. Fisher dwarf's already set. Plant gatherers. The plant gatherers, if you put all of the plant gathering on one person, it's beneficial because they get better at it. And same with like stone cutters. The more you do your job, the better you become. If you narrow too quickly and you don't have enough people, then you overwork them. I mean, there's a lot of things about setting too fine of grain management, especially right off the bat. Because right now, like, everybody will do stone cutters, but if I set one person, then it'll change. So, standing orders, kitchen. The one thing about going into kitchen is I don't want my people brewing my plump helmets. If they drink it, then I don't get my seeds back, and if they turn it into food, I do get my seeds back. So, or I'm sorry, the other way around. When they brew it into food, yeah, I'm sorry. It has been a minute. I normally have plump helmet booze to the point my dwarfs prefer other stuff. Work orders. Here's where I actually sign roles. Like, oh, I need a manager. I need a bookkeeper. I absolutely need a bookkeeper, and the sooner I can get that available, the better. Broker. I need a bookkeeper. And manager, hammer, sheriff, objects, justice, labor, work orders. What I was looking for was telling kids not to work. Okay, so one thing that's interesting, or the slaughter any animal marked, automatic kitchen tannery, hauling and refuse dumping, automatically weave all thread, collect webs, I'm going to turn off, and that way my people won't necessarily run off and get into trouble later, and before I forget to dink with it. Refuse, like, I actually collect refuse, depending on how I set up my stockpiles, etc. Where I've seen a lot of people like, just don't gather this stuff. Once again, you have to set the piles. Sieges and forbidding. When we are in siege, it's nice to not be able to, like, I don't want my people running off and claiming other people's dead when I'm in a siege. That's for sure. So chores, and here's where I was looking at. Children do chores, but children will be scarred for life if they haul dead bodies for burial. There are some things that in a way make sense. And going back to cleaning, if they're scrubbing blood off of the floor, scarred for life. They can, at a certain point, help with hauling food. Don't haul refuse. They can haul furniture. I don't want them going out and getting into the wilderness, so I know wood hauling and item hauling, because if there's like the dead armor and stuff, I don't want them hauling basically anything other than food and furniture, and they can tend to animals and trade goods, basically things that happen inside my fortress, water hauling and lever operations. So I think that is the main thing I wanted to cover on getting this set up. And with that being said, I will, I think, take a moment here to break between episodes or whatever and set up those 2 bays real quick. I need a temporary carpenter. And a temporary stone person. I was actually just wondering if I'd probably cancel that and grab the stone, because I'm going to have to be able to break my stone down without going down deeper and da-da-da-da-da. So yeah, either way, I will look to get back to this here later and see how the video editing works on Dwarf Fortress. Save and return. Save to this timeline. Alright, yeah, with that, look forward to playing some more Dwarf Fortress, that's for sure.